Good evening, everyone. Good Monday evening, everyone, to the Clem and Claw Show. Second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 in the Pacific Time Zone. Live from the parts unknown. Y'all already know how that goes. With that being said, interesting week. Very interesting week. Other than that, I got not too much to say right now at the moment. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, happy belated Mother Day to the people, to all the moms around the world. Yesterday was your day, so hope everyone had a good time. Hope y'all took care of your moms, flowers, cards, all that stuff. That's it for me for now.
Yes, want to say again, happy belated Mother's Day to all the ladies in the fight game who are mothers. There's too many of y'all that ain't. We'll be here
Yep.
all day trying to name everybody, but we
Yeah.
want to give definitely a shout out to all of you guys. Trying to juggle that and a career and and everything else that you do. So it can be a lot. It can be a lot. So definitely want to give a shout out to the mothers. Um, yeah, I know for me, I guess old business, new business. It was reported today that the little Rampage fight is off.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and one of the things Rampage has said in the thread, and you went through to go down the rabbit hole, that the other girl said she had some medical issues come up, which is kind of like, okay, here it is. You're supposed to have a fight, and then all of a sudden you disappear, and now you have like, oh, I'm in the hospital. I say this, we've seen this story before.
Yep.
Um, I guess the first point of dissension was the girl was trying to ask for a practice fight.
Yep.
Remember, like, that's not how this works.
True.
Yeah, so again, I just think it's just like a lot of other things is that when, you know what, this is one of the things I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about finding a sock sponsor to send to newbies for your first fight. You get a pair of socks so you don't get cold feet.
That's not a bad idea. That's a great idea, actually. Now that you think
Yeah,
about it, because there's too
because
many girls with the
yeah,
advent of
yeah,
yeah,
because
with the
out
advent
there,
of what you call it, with the advent of loyal fans and only fans now, the catfight game is coming more and more. It's going more and more away because ladies can make more money off of doing that because you got people, particularly men, when they're fetishes and all that kind of stuff. So hate to
yeah,
tell people, but he's been saying this for a while. Man's been saying it. It's starting to become into effect.
yeah.
I remember you saying this like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. You said things are happening. Don't be surprised. I'm not even sure if Reagan's fight will happen. The way those two are going back and forth with Rojo, it's a possibility that might not happen either. Watch this space.
Yeah, so like I said, man, it's just sad.
Yeah,
It's just
for a Rampage, I'm sad for her because, like she said, she spent
mm,
like what she said. She spent all her time bulking up and trying to get back into this whole thing. And now she said, I guess she said, what did she say later? She said something about if people want to find someone in Tampa, the Tampa Bay area. Of course, she said something like that.
good
I
luck
for,
with that.
good luck with that.
My thing about Tampa is one of the 10 best cities to find talent, but the problem is now, especially since the pandemic doors and came off, it's
No, it's
and we
interesting.
discussed this ad nauseum. To me, South Florida, LA, Vegas is all in the same realm.
Correct.
Girls who are willing to do stuff, but they will haggle, nickel and dime, and just try. It's a lot that sometimes it's not even because they'll feel like, you know what, I don't really want to do this. I'll find something else to do. You
Yep.
know, yeah. So they just
And we're
feel like
seeing
there's
this.
no options, and a lot of times they do because of other content stuff.
And we're seeing
That's
this,
why,
unfortunately.
again, that's why one of the things I always kind of push is more so I just do fights and I don't really do the other stuff,
Mm.
because you get into the other stuff, then yeah, it seemed like the best fighters. This is just me. The best fighters are the ones that's what they want to do is fight. The other stuff is kind of like, it's just extra. The
Yep.
girls that look at the other stuff as main stuff and fighting is just extra, they don't seem to work or their career don't last long.
Yeah, so fellas, this is fellas, and mainly the fellas. This is why we. This is why when you see a modern miracle or catfight happening, be blessed. This stuff is very, very difficult to obtain. Now I see why producers are so frustrated. There were some
Mm,
examples that were on X earlier. You know about this. I ain't gonna divulge their names, but they were showing some frustration. Now they're starting to realize how hard it is to get girls. Even if you have girls that can recruit girls, like you said, girls have so many things going on with their stuff. Like you said, there's so many outside forces right now that even if you get a girl to commit to you, like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe in the next, like this, she'll
yep.
have cold feet. That just is part of the thing. They're not willing to put their bodies on the line. Most of them, they say they talk a big game, but when it comes time to do it, it doesn't happen. It's just how it is. So when we get these type of women, the little rampages of the world, the Queen Jills of the world, the Sarah Brooks of the world, be blessed. This stuff, the lyrics, the sexy wife, all of them. I'm just mentioning them, all of them. Even
It's
before
never,
she left, even Alexa Brooke before she left, got to understand that. In our friend Kira, her too. You got to understand this is a physical toll on these ladies. They're not like us that
yeah, it's
women are
never,
not built. Women are not built to in physical combat. People, that is
yeah,
how biology is. Know that, understand that, and if they happen, it happens. Like the man says all the time, hair pulling is one thing women will never don't like doing. Right, most of the time,
yeah.
unless they're in a
It's,
real street fight. Before you see that, other than that, you don't see that at all. So
and as always, it's never fun when you have to give money back. That's never
it's,
fun. Uh,
and I'll let you talk more
Especially
about
if you have
that
to
so
do
that
like
to educate the
PayPal and
viewers on
stuff.
it.
It just makes it such a hassle and just
So yeah, people. So that was our little soliloquy, people. So basically, so if and on a sponsors side, it's very frustrating. Also, the producers understand, but it's very frustrating for us also that putting this money and then, like you said, he has to give it back because one fighter or both fighters, either one, it's like, nah, I don't want to do it. Like you said, the time of the month happens, things in life happens, everyday life happens. We get it. It's frustrating though. That's all I'm going to say on that. I think that's it. I don't think we got anything else more, man.
yes, hello.
I'm
Can you
gonna
hear
let you
me?
bring in the guest.
Well, no, that wasn't why I was trying to. I was just trying to test.
Oh yeah, go ahead and do your test. I ain't got nothing more to say.
Okay, okay, now I can hear. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah. Can you still hear me? Ten
Oh, you talking
four.
about me?
Okay, yeah. I know. I had just changed my headphones out. It's just
Oh yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
can hear
It's
you.
a it's a mess. While we wait for the guests to arrive, yeah. So told the guests we ready. So
Yeah.
we're ready. So I guess the only other thing we could talk about is there was something else. I know that the allegedly the Kitty Claus slash Protein Wrestling joint venture is still on for
It's on
now.
shaky ground though. Very shaky ground.
I I think it was on shaky ground since it was proposed.
I agree. I agree. It's funny to me. I'm with you. This is in shaky ground, right? The way this whole thing was
uh,
handled has been. I'm not blaming Reagan because she's done her job. It's Rojo I'm worried about. I knew this was shaky in the
okay.
beginning because how can you not know what a catfight is? I'm talking about her.
Let
Have
me
no one
ask
shown you
you.
a video of what it is?
Let me let's put it this way.
Go ahead.
What was more likely to happen? This fight, okay, let me see. What would you think was more likely to happen? This fight not pulling off, or the city of Dallas getting the number one picks in both the WNBA and the NBA draft?
I'll tell you one with the one that's unlikely, the most unlikely, the two Dallas cities getting number one picks in the WNBA draft and NBA draft. Very unlikely. I don't know how those the basketball gods were smiling on the Dallas Mavericks tonight because I feel like the NBA rigged this thing because no, I'm just saying I feel like it's a conspiracy theory to me.
God
That's just
loves
my opinion.
Nico. No, I won't say this. God loves Nico. You done heard
Clearly,
y'all been talking bad about him. He gonna like, all right, watch me work.
God has a special
Watch
love for Nico
me
because
work.
my days he was vilified. That man was vilified after the
This is
Doncic
this what
trade.
got me when in the height of the vitriol. I said, you know what would be kismet in some kind of way. I didn't realize that if you're in the play-in, that you're still in the lottery.
I didn't
I
either.
didn't realize that. I
I
just
didn't
thought
either.
if you're in the play-in, you don't have a shot.
I thought the
But
same.
but I was thinking, what if he was to get the trade and get the number one pick or something like that and get a Cooper flag? So now, if you told me we're going to trade Luca, but that's going to better our chance of getting Cooper flag, for all the reasons Nico has been saying why he wanted to get rid of Luca,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if you now when Luca got drafted, Luca did not have the draft. I mean the
Mm-mm.
height coming in that
Correct.
Cooper flag is at.
Yep.
He is nowhere near the height. If Cooper Flag end up being anywhere, we'll say half of what his I want to say half of what Luca is, but
Yep.
that's being disrespectful. I think if Cooper Flag end up living up to half the height that he
Yep.
is,
Yep.
Nico's gonna look like a genius when it's all said and done. Now, the fact that you may say he could spin doctor, the fact that he uh, but there would be some truth to that
True.
because they slid down to 10.
Yep.
So there would be some truth to the fact that had they not been in that position, they would not have been in a position to win. And they only had a 1.8% chance of getting the
Yeah.
number one pick.
Which equates to for people don't know that's 2%. That is very very wow.
God has a sense of humor.
Yes,
So
he
now
does.
you let Dallas reset the clock with Kyrie, he tore his what? ACL, MCL? I can't.
ACL.
So he's gonna be a minute getting back. He probably
He
won't
won't
come
be
back
back to
until
probably February or March of next
February,
year.
March. But you can start off with AD and Cooper Flag.
And Clay Thompson, pretty good.
I'm not counting Clay. Clay to me is just
Okay, so
he's
those
just a
two,
shooter in the corner. But he's a man of
those
diminished
two, pretty
skill.
good, man.
But
Right?
even with just AD and Cooper Flag, and the fact that the Spurs ended up with the second pick, which
Yep.
means the Spurs almost pulled this off again.
Yeah,
Because
they
if they
did.
would have got Wimbayana and Flag, oh, it would have been no
It's
fair.
over.
And you already got Stephen Castle, oh, it would have been no fair.
Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, and Cobra Flag.
But the fact that you
Oh
already
my!
got the second pick, you're gonna get somebody, hopefully, knock on wood, halfway decent.
They're gonna get a
Most
guy. They have two options. They have Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper are both from Rutgers. They're both pretty good players.
I
So
mean, very rarely do you have a draft where that draft is really all just one player and that's it. And
true,
nobody else comes out of
true.
the class.
This
Or
is it.
nobody in the first 10. Usually it's not that bad. Most drafts, people always argue is either a two-man draft or a three-man draft. And
Yep.
we'll get to hear who's that other person.
Correct.
I know there's supposed to be another French guy
Yep.
that's supposed to be coming that
Yep.
people swear up and down. Um, you got him, you got Cooper, you got Ace Bailey, you got RJ Harper.
Yep.
So you got all these other folks.
Yep.
Yeah. So yep. So the fact that Dallas got both picks.
Crazy. The city of Dallas is on fire. Paige Beckers and supposedly a Cooper Flag. Oh my days.
Now, what I did not care for is the draft folks after when they had Cooper Flag on the podium, like they talking like he's already the number one pick. And he was just trying to temper, like, look, still got to go through the process, and all
True.
that. He understands how this works. There's
True.
really time. The problem about being the presumptive number one pick right now
Go ahead.
is you can only go one way down. You
Exactly.
can have somebody decide whether it's your medicals or something, and they
Yep.
can just decide for some reason, all right, well, you're no longer the number one pick. And now
Correct.
you drop like a rock for whatever.
This is
I'd
it.
rather be the guy on the rise than to be guy. I'd rather be the guy nobody talked about, and then I shoot up the draft board, and people
True.
realize, oh, he's really better than what we thought. I'd rather be that guy than to be the guy that everybody expect 9 million things from. And because, like I said, the only thing you could do from that point is go down.
Right.
So it's
I
just a
agree.
matter of the Spurs, who the Spurs get a second. And the way the Spurs draft, oh my God. The
They draft very
Spurs,
good.
the Spurs have always, and you know what? This is what was interesting. The Southwest Division,
Yep.
in my humble opinion, is the most, as it stands today,
Uh-huh.
May 12th, 2025,
Correct.
is the most competitive division
Agree.
in all of basketball. And the reason why I say it is because if you look at, you got one of the Thompson twins
Yep.
and Jalen Green with
Yep.
Houston with a good coach who should still be coaching the Celtics, but I digress. You got Memphis with Jaren Jackson Jr., borderline All NBA, and
Yep.
definitely defensive stalwart, and John Morant.
Yep.
You got the Pelicans with Zion Williamson
If he can ever
when
stay
he
healthy.
is healthy and one of the most dynamic players in the league, without question.
Hmm.
Then you got the alien in San Antonio,
Yep.
Wembayana. You got the Stephen Castle dude, which you made a rookie of the year,
Yep.
and you're gonna get somebody decent.
Yep.
You got OKC with
Okay, so he's in the Northwest, not the Southwest.
OKC is OKC,
Right.
and you got Dallas now
Yep.
with you're gonna give them AD, Kyrie, and Cooper Flat. Dude,
Ooh.
this is the
Ooh.
Southwest Division. Just getting out of the division is,
Ooh.
and the number one thing I'm going to hear locally here in Virginia tomorrow is how the Wizards got screwed. Oh
Yep.
my God.
Yep.
The Wizards ended up in the worst possible spot,
They sure
which is
did.
pick number 6.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel bad for that. I feel bad
Yeah,
for
top
Washington. I'm not even gonna
two.
lie.
They had what? They was tied
Yeah.
for the worst record, or the one behind, or
Yeah.
whatever, or
Who else had the worst record besides them? There was one more
um,
team.
some of them they won their last game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, who was it? It wasn't Portland.
It
Who
wasn't
got the third
Toronto.
pick? Who got the third pick?
I can't remember. I should know this.
I
I
know the
see.
Wizards got the sixth pick.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, the 76ers got the six. The 76ers got the
Yeah,
sixth
because
pick.
the 76ers, I think, won.
Yeah, the 76ers got the third pick, I think. I'm trying to remember. Because Washington was 6. I want to say Toronto and Utah were 4 and 5. I could be wrong. I have to admit, I didn't really look at the draft. After I saw Dallas and San Antonio, I kind of, spaced out. I'm not going to lie to you.
And if I'm Cooper Flag, you should be happy you're going to Texas. Because
True.
now you talking about that state income tax.
Bingo. And I know
Man,
about
you're
that
not
state
going to
income
lose as
tax.
much
I'm
money.
here. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm here. The state income
Philly got
tax
the
and
third
everything.
pick. Charlotte. Charlotte got the 4. Utah Jazz. That's who I'm thinking of.
Utah got 5?
Utah is 5.
Oh, that's
So
terrible for them.
No, because the two worst teams record wise, I believe, was Washington. It was like Washington and Utah.
That's my point.
And the fact that both of them is 5 and 6.
Worst case scenario for both.
Huh?
Utah's better. Utah has a little bit of a better ceiling than Washington because at least Utah got Laurie Markkinen and they got Keontae
Dude,
George.
I
Utah.
don't even understand the one All Star team Laurie Marketing made. How do you even make that? I'm like,
I
what are
don't
we
know how he
doing?
did
Are
it
we
either.
doing baseball rules where every team had to put an All Star in? I'm like, what are
I
we
guess
talking
so.
about?
Because I'm with you. I don't know how he made the All Star team that one year. Also, I can name a few people that were better than him.
Yeah, marketing been a guy that marketing to me has been the modern day Sharif Abdul Rahim. They just think he
Oh,
made
that's
an
a good
All Star
one.
team. Sharif
The Vancouver,
Abdul-Rahim never
Sharif
even made an
Abdul-Rahim.
All Star team. Sharif
Yep.
was in the West for all the years.
Yeah,
He
he
was in
was.
Vancouver. They could never get, he could never get. And then he goes to Atlanta. And
Yep.
that's when when everybody has shifted over. I mean, Sharif never could make it, man.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Yes, yes, yes.
He couldn't make it in the West. He
No.
always was behind all them dudes in the West, man. He
What are your thoughts
couldn't.
on Giannis? They say Giannis Antetokounmpo is now open minded to leaving Milwaukee. Now
Um,
that's what Sham said. Charnia said today.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way the salary cap and the structure is set up
Hmm.
because it makes it tough and difficult for small market teams. And I say this
Yep.
as a fan of a small market team
Same.
to
I'm
have a
Oklahoma.
rooting
Same.
interest in another small market team, which would be Memphis. So, I
Hmm.
mean, if you look at Indiana, Indiana is almost the best way you can see it.
That's a good point.
Tyrese Halliburton is playing his way into a max contract. He's
Facts.
playing his way.
Facts.
It's almost like you have to have a cast of very, very, very good players
Yep.
who fit that you can pay them maybe a little bit more than other teams would pay them,
Hmm. Hmm.
but you're not gonna max out on everybody because
That's
you
a good
max
point.
out. You're not gonna like if you look at what happened with Phoenix. Phoenix
Yep.
shows you the worst way this happened. The way it is set up now with the two aprons,
Yep.
actually definitely show you you're gonna have a problem having three max guys on contract
Yep.
because then that leaves you with literally no bench. Literally.
Correct.
You
Correct.
literally have no bench. And then what do you do with, and usually that third guy, from a game standpoint, is going to have to sacrifice his game to do other stuff,
Right.
dirty work stuff, other stuff that the
Right.
main two gets to do, and they can get the kind of skirt off.
Yep.
Whoever your third base player, truth be told, whoever your third best player is, for me, is a catalyst of whether you can truly make a deep run in the NBA final.
Correct.
The play of your third best player,
Yep.
and so um, that's pretty much how it is. And the thing about Indiana is you may argue, we know Halliburton's the star. You may argue who's the third best player.
I think right now it's Miles Turner because it's I think it's Halliburton, Siakam, and Turner. At least this series has been those three.
Turner has been. It's like it fluctuates between Turner and Toppin.
Yep. Yep.
Last year I would have said it was Neesmith.
Yep. Yep.
Neesmith played some dog minutes, man.
Yeah,
There's
he
no way
was.
we win the Knicks series last year if
Yep.
Neesmith doesn't play. If Neesmith doesn't come out to play, then
He's been
there's no way.
fantastic.
There's
Yeah, he's been fantastic this series, has he? For this Cleveland series, he's been playing well this series.
So there's no way we're making it. There's no way we're making it. So
Man,
um
your team went off yesterday. Cleveland got slapped.
yeah,
Literally.
I mean it's
I know it happens, but
like game
Jesus.
3 was to me Cleveland at full strength what they could do and
True.
how they just blew the doors off. Um Indiana is opportunistic. Indiana will do like Indiana, the style that Indiana plays. If
Yep.
you have an off night, you'll lose to Indiana.
Facts.
If you have an off night, because Indiana, and my thing about Boston,
Go ahead.
looking ahead just briefly. I know we're up 3-1 and it's never over till it's over, but I
True.
seriously doubt Cleveland, especially with the hobble um,
Donovan
um,
Mitchell.
Mitchell, and I doubt they can beat Indiana 3 straight times. That's just
I
me,
agree.
even though they got 2 at home. Anyway, despite that fact, um, I think it's going to be tough. The way Boston is playing it, I don't know. Did Boston win
They're
against?
three. They're down 3-1. They lost tonight.
Oh, they lost to the Knicks.
Yeah, and Tatum might be out for the rest of the series too. He got a non-contact injury. It did not look good.
Ooh, Okay, I didn't know that. Because my thing to Boston was if Boston played the way they're playing against the Knicks, against Indiana, Boston won't, Boston might beat the Knicks, but Boston won't beat Indiana. Because my thing about Indiana is now you can make an argument that New York may be dogmatic, a little bit better defensive team,
Hmm.
and New York Knicks offenses would always been a problem.
Hmm.
That's not a problem for Indiana. Indiana is just as good defensively as they are offensively. Now,
Hmm.
I personally would love to see an Indiana New York rematch.
You're born in, it's more than likely going to happen because Boston has to beat the Knicks 3 times. Even with and if Tatum don't play, I don't like Boston's chances at all against the Knicks.
And game five is in Boston. So Boston and Indiana is kind of in the same spot. Both teams, lower seeds, need to win one game, and they got to win. Um, well,
On the
two of the
road.
next three games is on the road. So,
Yep.
um, which, if I'm not mistaken, the Knicks haven't lost a game on the road yet.
The Knicks
This whole
have.
playoff.
Yeah, that is correct. You are correct. I forgot.
This whole
They
playoff, they
won.
haven't lost a game on the
I'm,
road.
Yeah, that is correct. They didn't win all their games. Detroit was 6 games. I think they didn't. Yeah, they didn't win any home games. Detroit beat them in two out of three. Was it two out of
Yeah.
three? Yeah. Okay, my
Because
bad.
they
The Knicks
beat both
won.
games at Detroit. Because they swept
Yep.
Detroit. They
Yep.
beat Detroit in both games that they had to beat them there.
Game 3, game 4, and game 6. So yeah, New York is 5-0. New York hasn't lost on the road. They're 5 and
They
0.
haven't
They
lost on the
beat
road.
Detroit 3,
So
and they beat Boston twice. So yes, you're right.
so we'll see how this turns out. But if it's New York and oh my God, Reggie Miller
Oh,
show back in the building to call the game. Oh my God, it's gonna be.
rematch of last year again.
But this
Ooh.
time for the NBA final,
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's. I got a friend of mine who is a diehard Pacers fan from Indianapolis, and he lives in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
I told him if Indy, I told him if Indy and New York make it, we have to go to a game in New York. I don't know how the schedule will check out. We got to somehow make it to a game in New York. We
Mm-hmm.
have to.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to have contacts with the Pacers organization. I don't know. We'll see. But they play in New York. But we almost went to Game 7 last year. We
Yep.
almost went to Game 7.
Yep. Yes, I remember that. I remember that. You were shaking, my guy. I remember that. The next night, the next time I saw you, you were like, "Whoo! I'm glad we won that game because you're right. They're going to 7 in Madison Square Garden. It would have been difficult for you,
Right. Yeah. So
but you were able to get it done at home at Gamebridge. So
the fact that with Indiana, if they could, and the fact that they beat them and the way they beat them. Now, granted, you could make the argument, well, Brunson was hurt in the first quarter. He didn't play no more after that.
we got
The
that.
way they beat them, and with Tyrese, the way, and I argue Tyrese is playing way better this year than he played
Yep.
last year.
Correct.
I will make the argument they won't be scared to go in there
Of
because
course
they
not.
did it last year. They beat New York in New York. They would not.
Exactly.
They would have no fear of going in there to beat New York in New York.
Facts.
That we've done that.
You have
Next,
exactly. You done it. You did it
next.
twice last year.
Now, I will say that Mikael Bridges, boy, and y'all got Cat. These are the games when you have to help you beat Boston, to help you get, and the fact that the Knicks haven't even made the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000.
Correct.
That's a long time. The
Very long
Pacers,
time.
the Pacers, should be told though, what did they is kind of sad. If you look at the Pacers' record in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's abysmal. It's something like we're like 1-9.
Correct.
I
That's
think in the
correct.
Eastern Conference Finals,
Oh,
we're 1-9. The one time we went is when we played against the what was the 2000?
yeah. That was the year you
It was
played the
the
Lakers in the
2000
NBA
Lakers
Finals
when the Lakers won the first
in six
championship.
games. Yep. 6 game
Yeah,
series.
yeah, the first one with Kobe and Shaq.
Yep.
That's the one we lost. Yeah, the infamous Game 5. I mean Game 6, when Kobe was like, "I got this." Oh
Correct.
my God, I'm still.
Correct.
So I got this. Big fella had fouled out.
Yep.
And Kobe had to take over overtime.
And he did.
When we lost that game, I knew we lost the championship. When
Mm.
we lost that game,
By the way, that was not game
I
six. That
knew
was game
because the game
four.
was at Indiana. And when we lost that game, I knew. I said, "Yeah, we're not winning this."
I remember that was game four, and that was Bankers live field. That's what Reggie. That's when you have Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose, and your team was pretty good at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, and you know what? And Bird admitted all these years later, his biggest mistake was he took Jalen Rose out early because Jalen Rose was playing phenomenal, and I'm like, why did you take Rose out?
True.
Because Rose was a Swiss Army knife. Rose was somebody they didn't have an answer for, man.
This is true.
Rose was all a 6'8", 6'9" point guard, man. You know,
Facts.
they had no answer for him. They had no answer for him.
They did not.
And the thing about Rose is with that lineup with Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, and Jalen Rose, you can fluctuate Rose at any one of the wing spots or the point.
Facts.
Spell Mark Jackson. It was Rose was the Swiss Army nightmare that year. That
Mm.
literally was his best year as an NBA player. My personal opinion, Jalen Rose that year. He could not be stopped. He could not be stopped that playoff. And Indiana always seemed to have that. They have that one guy. Like every year, you name the year, most Pacers fans can name you who was that role player or bench player.
Mm.
Now, for Indiana, let's say let's go crazy. Let's talk about Indiana winning the championship, which have never happened. For Indiana to do that, they're going to need they're going to need another person, preferably in the starting five,
Mm-hmm.
that plays at the level of Tyrese. Because
Yep.
if they're going to play the Knicks, I think Cat Turner and Siakam will cancel each other out. Mitchell Robinson
Agreed.
gives you nothing. Um, Jalen Brunson and Tyrese is going to be going. To me, those two even out.
They out.
Mikal Bridges is a defensive stalwart, but I would look at somebody like an Obi Toppin.
Yep.
I can make the argument Obi Toppin is just as athletic and just as critical. Matter of fact, I would say Obi Toppin and Neesmith would cancel each other out.
Yep.
What? How the Pacers couldn't win is that would be the series. You need Benedict Mathurin, who did not play in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yep.
Again, because he was out like
Yep.
that whole series against Boston.
Andrew.
That would be the series. You need Benedict Mathurin to be 1B.
Yep.
1B to Benedict Mathurin needs to have a series of his life and
Yep.
remind people why he's here, why he was a
Mm.
lottery pick. I would say between Neesmith, Benedict Mathurin, I'm not going to do TJ McConnell. McConnell and Pritchard, they all are the same guy. They cancel each other out. Derek White,
Gotcha.
Derek
Gotcha.
White and Neesmith kind of cancel each other out.
Yep.
Not Neesmith, Nimhard.
Nimar.
Nimhard kind of cancel each other out. That's what I'm saying. I don't now. You can say, well, y'all don't have an answer for Kristaps Porzingis. True, we don't have an answer for Kristaps Porzingis. We don't. Um, wait a minute. I'm talking about. Wait a minute.
You're
That's
talking about the
with the
Celtics.
end of Celtic. Duh,
You're talking about the Celtics.
duh. I'm okay. I'm thinking Knicks. Josh Hart and yeah, Josh Hart would be. Even though knowing them, they're probably going to try to put Hart on Tyrese Halliburton,
And don't forget about
which
OG
means
Anunoby. That's the other dude.
yeah. So OG, see to me, OG and Toppin will cancel each other out.
There you go.
It's really so. So this is why I say it would have to be Benedict,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're going to put, if I'm what's his name, Tibbs, I'm putting Josh Hart defensively on Tyrese,
Correct.
which means Brunson will have to guard Neesmith. I mean not Neesmith, guard
Mm-hmm.
Nimhard, which is that's not asking for much. Or in this case, it will be Mathurin.
Yep.
And I think that's where the matchup is. Because the Mathurin, because to me, I don't think Josh Hart is going to shut down Halliburton. I think he'll
I don't
limit
think so
him,
either.
but he won't shut him down. If he has to go, if he has to play Brunson, he'll eat Brunson alive. In my
Yep.
personal opinion, he'll eat Brunson alive.
Facts.
But you need somebody bigger and stronger to stay in front of Tyrese. That's
Correct.
always been kind of the book. So, but that means whoever your other guy is got to guard Mathurin. Good luck with that. And so if Mathurin has a series of his life, and Tibbs got to switch off and put Josh Hart on Mathurin,
Mm-hmm.
that means Tyrese gonna go. It's
Got
it's
Brunson.
true.
It's over.
Now Brunson ain't no slouch now,
No, he's
but
not.
Brunson to be, you know what's so funny is they had the thing in Madison Square Garden earlier with Tyrese and what was Tyrese and Logan Paul was in the
Mm-hmm.
ring. I get LA Knight and then Brunson jumped over with the chair.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I said, oh, this might come back. This might work out. I'm
Yeah.
like WWE. Y'all was prophetic. Y'all got the script. Scripts in the mail. Scripts in the mail. Both teams up 3-1. The script
Yep.
is in the mail. The
Western
script is
Conference more interesting by the books. My team in Denver is a dogfight. I think that might go seven. That might go 7 games. The way this game is, I will admit yesterday's game was the worst game I've seen in a while, shooting wise. Glad we won, but man, ugh, that was
yeah.
ugly. That was downright ugly, man. Minnesota and who's it? Minnesota and Golden State's playing game 4 now. I know that they started that one.
Yeah, so if the Pacers just make the finals, I would just be through the moon because just looking over the other side, we would have no answer for Denver. Just Joker by himself.
Mm,
We have no answer. We have no answer for the Joker. Oh God, we have no answer for Joker. And for Denver to make the final, that means Jamal Murray is going to have to be playing at the All-Star level, which we
yep,
don't have no answer for him. Westbrook is going to be a wild card like he always is.
yep.
Um, if we have to pay Minnesota, again, they play defense so well,
They do.
and they can
Minnesota plays game
switch
well. Hmm.
with everybody. I don't know who's going to guard Ant. Ant will probably try to guard Halliburton because
Yep.
Mike Conley is not going to be able to stay in front of him.
Mm-mm.
They'll do the same thing the Knicks do. And maybe it comes down to who plays better between Halliburton and Edwards as far as who
Hmm.
goes, which would be Kismet, two Olympians, um, leading their teams, respective teams. If it's the Warriors, I think they have a good shot against the Warriors because Draymond gives you they have no inside game. Draymond
Facts.
gives you Draymond can't guard
Facts.
Turner, Siakam,
Siakam.
and nah. Draymond can only guard one of them. Draymond's gonna only be able to guard one of them, which means Jimmy Butler's gonna have to. Butler would be the X factor.
Yep.
If Butler goes off, we know Curry's gonna do Curry things. And
Correct.
I don't know who. I guess this is where a Nembhard and the Neesmith will play more minutes because their assignment is going to be you got to go guard Curry. Good luck with that.
Correct.
Don't even score. And Benedict Mathurin. Again,
Yep.
I think Mathurin's going to be the key because if Mathurin goes lights out, Indiana got a shot to win the whole thing.
Yep.
And then last but not least, your beloved OKC. I Shea is playing at an all world level. Shea is playing at such a level. Shea could guard.
Got to.
No. Shea could guard Tyrese one-on-one
Mm-hmm.
and probably negate him. So, Tyrese, Shea could guard Tyrese, and then who's going to guard Shea?
That's a good point.
I don't know. And then you got Lou Dort, who's always going to be a defensive pass center around out there.
Yep.
Jalen Williams, which to me is sneaky good. You got
Yep.
Chet now. You got Chet and Hartenstein to me, which would be y'all answer to Turner and
Siakam.
Siakam. Personally, I would root for Indiana and OKC.
Yep.
But I think the problem is the league, from a rating standpoint,
They don't want that.
they don't want that because if
They
they
do not.
lose both Boston, and if they lose Cleveland, okay, fine.
They don't care about
Cleveland, you
that.
still gonna have a little bit of the LeBron James. As long as LeBron James is active in the league, Cleveland can always get a residue from LeBron because the
Sure.
story is going to be, can Cleveland win without LeBron
Yep.
as an active player? And once LeBron retires, nobody's gonna care about Cleveland anymore. Cleveland just sinks back.
Mm-hmm.
But for Indiana, to lose both Boston and New York,
Yeah, that's a
even
problem.
though Indiana's a worthy champ, That's not gonna sell. They lose those two markets. Boston for the prestige, because
And then you
everybody
have
either love Boston or hate Boston.
yep,
Like you have Lakers fans will root for whoever the team Boston play just to see them lose.
correct.
Don't mention Philly. Oh, we know how they feel.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
so it becomes a thing of Philly might just root and protest.
There you go.
But so now that leaves you with
And people don't, and the league don't want Oklahoma City to do it because everybody feels Oklahoma City is not ready yet. So the league definitely don't want Oklahoma City because we're a very small market. So
now
we already got that problem. So they will have their children, Golden
this
State,
is
to make it to
this
the
is okay.
finals.
Yes, Golden State would be a sexy pick because
Correct.
Golden State would be yeah.
Yep.
Minnesota, you can package and sell Ant as
Yep.
a star, kind of
Sure.
like how 2004 run when they had big ticket.
Kevin Garnett. Yep.
You can sell that.
You can sell that
Denver, you could sell as somebody who won the championship
before
just 2
already.
years ago. Yeah,
Yep.
it wasn't even that long ago. 2 years ago.
And everybody knows Jokic is the best player in the
They're
league.
trying to
So
right,
they can do
right.
that easy.
They can do it. And I think with Shea, the only way Shea could sell would be he has to have won the MVP this year, which I
Correct.
think he did, and they have to announce it. And once they make the announcement,
Yep.
and y'all see if y'all was up 3-1 and they made the announcement, then the push is in because
That's
it's
true.
2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You know, because I think it's going to come down to who wins
Yep.
that series. Because
I agree.
if Shea can win, yeah, it just
I agree.
the
I
one
agree
one
with
team,
you.
even if y'all beat the Nuggets, which is no small feat,
It is not
I think who would you rather want to play, Minnesota or rather play the Warriors?
Minnesota because Golden State. I know what Golden State's about. I mean, I know they're not good, but I know their experience. They know how to win, right? They know how to
Right.
win championship. They have Curry. They still have Draymond Green. They got at least those two guys, and they got some other people. Jimmy Butler is a problem. Will be a problem for
Yeah,
us also.
yeah,
Like you said, as he was a problem for you, he'll be a problem for us because Jimmy Butler. We all know playoff Jimmy can come out at any time, so he might be a problem for us,
right.
right? And
Them guys are
our
old
lack of
and
inexperience also our lack of inexperience. I know we're young, so I have to say this, but our lack of inexperience
but my
also have a
issue with
problem.
Minnesota was a team that was built to beat Denver.
True,
If I'm Minnesota, I think you're licking your chops anyway because they beat y'all. They put y'all out of the playoffs last year, right?
true.
Did it go to Game 7 or Game
Which
6?
which one? Nuggets?
The Nuggets. Yeah, not
Yeah,
the Nuggets. Not the Nuggets. Didn't y'all lose to Minnesota last year?
we lost to Dallas.
Oh, you lost to Dallas.
We
That's
lost to
right.
Dallas in 6.
You lost to Dallas in 6. Okay. All right.
But to answer your question, the Nuggets did get beat by the Timberwolves in 7 games. So
Right. Now they got beat by the Timberwolves because Timberwolves was built to beat Denver.
yep,
The way they set up everything, and what's actually helping Minnesota right now is the fact that Julius Randle is playing. Julius Randle was doing the things that Cat wouldn't do,
yep,
but giving you the same level of, I don't want to say effort or energy,
hmm
and I don't want to say production because it's a different type of production.
correct,
He's giving you enough to where you don't have to worry about it falling apart and sinking. Wow.
right.
He's keeping you afloat. So it was nice to see Randall putting it together for this run because the Lakers
Correct.
had no answer for him. He went
They
back
did
to the
not.
Lakers.
They
The
did not
Lakers had no answer
for him.
for him.
We know if our guys coming yet or not. I know we
Uh,
found a way to put
At
40
this
points out
point,
there.
is so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to be that guy. So and we've had this happen before.
Yep,
So what we may have to do is just take a break because
yep,
I don't think the issue isn't because he said he had a last minute fight come up.
yep.
And I knew something was kind of shaking when he went on Twitter announcing talking about his fight night. I'm like, you gonna try
Me
to shoot
too.
a fight? Now, as a fellow producer, it's a lot to try to shoot a fight, and then you're gonna come on and get on the interview and talk.
I agree with you.
It's so much because you, especially dealing with the talent getting them in and out.
Yeah, I saw
But
the same thing you did. I saw the same thing. I thought the
yeah,
same thing. Eh,
so but he did a he did say that had a fight coming they wasn't expecting. My apologies. Right, but I still sit here still the fight, but I guess that didn't mean that he wasn't coming. Now that I look back, it didn't say, but the fact that he knew we promote. That's the thing. If we promote you, we gotta see you, man. That's what the people want. So, um, so it is what it is. So, um, that's why I'm gonna be starting to tell him maybe he need to just to be his fight. That way, we just be live from the set of the fight. You know,
I agree.
you
So
know
you want to end the show and go into the sidebar and then
yeah,
how
we
the
end the
show's
show,
going?
go to the sidebar. Then if you come back, we come back and do a part two. We've done that before. That wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, we do a
So,
part two.
yeah, if
Yeah,
we have to.
I don't see anything wrong with it. We might as
Yeah.
well, right? Let's not waste our time on it.
So, all
It's
right.
unfortunate.
I am at Close Web at X and IG.
I am at Clem underscore Kufo IG and Clem Kufo on X. And the next show is going to be May 26th. Is that correct?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, May 26th.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be a strong allegedly
Very strong.
because that day is Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah. We might
That's
push
a
that
nice
back. We might push that back. You know
we
what? Push
might
that
put
back a
that
day.
back.
Push that back, man.
Yeah,
Push that back.
because
There's still going to be too many things going on. Memorial Day is kind of a big thing. Push that back.
and I'm gonna put in parentheses alleged.
So we're looking at what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that week somewhere that will work with everybody's schedule. Me, you, and
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah. I don't feel right doing the show on Memorial Day like that. Just
yeah,
it's happening. People going barbecue. People with their families. Yeah, push that
right.
back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that'd be one of those things, man. I know me. I get some good barbecue.
I ain't mad at you.
I might go to sleep early.
There you go. So yeah, people. So allegedly, it's tentative. Allegedly means allegedly, people.
Uh,
Check the space. We'll let you. Well, we won't
heck,
let you know,
I'd
but
rather
check the
shoot
space.
something the 25th leading up to it
What's
if
that,
the time
Sunday?
works for everybody. So
Sunday? You want to do it Sunday?
yeah, so all right. Well,
We'll see. All right, people. We're signing off, man.
yep,
Unfortunately, we didn't have any more catfight news for you people. Everything became a
no,
NBA basketball session. Sorry, people. Playoff session.
yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Until next time, people. For Clauswell, for myself, Clement Kufo. Until next time, we out.
All right. See y'all later.
Mm-hmm.